Hey everybody, so I'm gonna make this video just as a follow-up and an update to the doula petition that I put out a few weeks ago. About a month and a half now it's been out. So basically, I started a petition to petition the private insurance companies to cover doula care as a standard of care for women, pregnant women, or anyone who wanted to use the service, because of the disparities in black maternal health. And I thought it was important that these very special people who we spoke about last week on the live, when I spoke to Regina about just how important doulas are, what they provide to clients, and just how effective they can be as far as help bridging the gap of the black maternal mortality epidemic. So I thought that this was I, prior to that live, had started doing my own research and just started thinking about ways to get this vital care covered. So I started this petition. I currently have 211 signatures, which is phenomenal, and I'm super excited that people actually signed and shared, and I'm so thankful and so grateful that people actually did that for me. It means a lot. I then took that petition and all those signatures and then just emailed these private health insurances such as Cigna, such as Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shields, United Healthcare, Emblem Health. I emailed all of them, and I only heard back from Cigna. So a few weeks ago, I got an email from Cigna's education and advocacy team, and they basically just wanted a little bit more information about my initiative, which I gave them in a very clear and decisive email, just about what I was advocating for and why. And it took about 2 or 3 weeks, but I finally got a response yesterday. And at first, I was a little discouraged because it wasn't the response I was hoping for, in being that, yes, we're going to start covering this. But I did gain some knowledge as to how these private insurance companies work. Now, a lot of us have insurance, and it may be through our employer if you have a job that offers that benefit package. If not, then, chances are you're insured through a Medicaid market or even affordable care market. Regardless of whatever market you are insured in, doulas are not state mandated. So in New York State, and I'm only going to specifically talk about New York, and I know that there's 49 other states, but I live in New York, and usually when I do these research, I always want to see what New York is doing, just because usually it's New York and California that head out the these type of initiatives to see how they work and how effective they are. But anyway, I specifically looked into New York, and New York does not have a state mandate for doula care. Now, if you was able to catch the live last week, I wasn't able to save it, which I truly apologize for and I'm so upset about. But the city, New York City, has a doula pilot program, which they offered for women in Brooklyn and Oregon County to sign up for. However, the pricing was so despicable. I don't know if despicable is a word, but despicable, that no one wanted to sign up for this. No one wanted to volunteer their time to, because it was not a living wage. They were trying to pay these women like a little under $1,000 for their services, when these wonderful people follow women from the time they're ready, like maybe the 8th or 9th month. They go to the office visits. They provide them with resources. They're through the entire laboring process. Some of them go into the home after, through the postpartum process, and I wouldn't do it for that amount of money. So I totally understand that. However, there's still no state mandate for doula care. And this becomes an issue with coverage because, as I was explained to by the education and advocacy team at Cigna, because I called and spoke to her and almost had like a half an hour conversation just about, how important this issue is. Basically, an employer can pick the plan that the insurance company wants to provide. So say even if Cigna decided, like, okay, we're going to cover doula care, the employer will then say, okay, well, we're not going to cover that. We don't want to cover that. So Cigna, being like a parent company, has groups that each employer can pick a plan from. So you say, for instance, you have UPS, FedEx, or this into Walmart, whatever. They have Cigna coverage that they offer their employees, but each group is different and it looks different. And that could be for whatever reasons. But if the standard of care that Cigna offers for doula care, the employer still can say, I don't want to cover that. So it doesn't even matter at this point. The only way that the insurance company would actually need to cover the doula care is if it was state mandated, which in New York it is not. So I just come to the conclusion that I'm not giving up. I know where I need to go now. I know what direction I need to take my fight into, because trying to go after the private insurances, I'm just going to come up against the same issue over and over again. So I think that the next lane that I'm going to go into is going to actually be trying to get the state to mandate this care. And, unfortunately, we don't have the pilot program to back us up because no one signed up. It's been put on hold, and especially now in the city with the pandemic and budget cuts and such, it's going to be difficult to get New York City to maybe ramp up this pilot program. So I'm looking into ways that I can, maybe find some doulas who would do it voluntarily, maybe start a fundraiser to pay them something, just so we can get the actual feedback and have the women who participate complete surveys, so we have some evidence-based knowledge to then go after New York State. Because once they cover it and they make it a mandate, then all the insurances will have to cover it. They won't be able to say no. And just as a comparison, autism wasn't always mandated by the state. The amount of services that an autistic child needs or needed wasn't always mandated by the state. It's only in the last, I want to say 15 years that it's actually been mandated. So, this is something that we're fighting for. And, nothing changes overnight, especially in legislation. So I'm willing to do the work, and I'm willing to do the the advocacy and the emailing and the calling. I'm willing to do all of that. I'm willing to keep this petition going as long as possible with people helping out like you guys. And again, thank you so much. And in the coming weeks, I will just continue to update everyone about the progress of this initiative that I have going on right now. So again, thank you so much for signing and sharing. If you haven't signed and you would like to, the link is in my Instagram bio. Please, if you can, also share it to friends and family. Repost it on your page. You're totally welcome to do that. And let's just keep pushing to have this happen. Okay? Thank you.